Classification of an embedded system. Embedded systems can be classified into variety of, because there are number of types of systems. One is based on the performance and functional requirement, and दूसरा है based on the performance of microcontroller. ये कंट्रोलर छोटा आहे का बिग साइज आहे, मोठा आहे, as far. So we can have small scale embedded system, medium scale embedded system, or large scale or big size embedded system, which are known as sophisticated embedded systems. And in the case of performance based system, we can say stand-alone embedded system, independent of others. For example, weighing machine कसा आहे ते काय नेटवर्कमध्ये नाही आहे, कोणाची काही संबंध नाही आहे. Whereas network embedded system, आता आपला मोबाईल फोन कसा आहे, it is working by its own, but it is networked, it is attached to a tower, it is attached to a company, it is a network embedded system which can move from one place to another. Some systems can move, they are portable, some are not, they are fixed somewhere, like ATM machine, it is fixed. Mobile phone, it is movable. So first we will see stand-alone embedded system. For example, camera, still camera, video camera, washing machines, they are all embedded system. They work by their own. They don't need the support of any other system. Such things are known as the stand-alone embedded system. So this system does not require any other host like a computer. It works by itself. It takes input from some input ports, either analog or digital, and process, then calculates and convert data and give the resulting data through the connected device. It accepts the input, processes it, and gives the output. Output can be some control or driving or displaying. Sometimes you control something, sometimes you move something, sometimes you display something. So output can be anything depending upon the requirement. What machine does? It takes some input cloth, it adds water, moves, and then it will wash. It gives some output. Same fashion, this system may be different, but it works by its own. It doesn't need support of any other embedded system, any other computer, you can say. Such systems are known as the stand-alone systems. So examples: MP3 players, digital cameras, video game consoles, microwave ovens, temperature measuring systems, and there are number of small systems. Generally small systems are stand-alone systems. Then some sophisticated system, real-time embedded system. Real-time means they are somewhat sophisticated system. It gives the output in real time. It has to respond to the customer in a very fast or in a short time. You can, so if you go to ATM also, it has to respond in a time bound period. If you are measuring some body parameters, some devices in the medical, they have to operate in a very fast way. In a car, there are some dashboards, there are some controls in the car also. So if something goes wrong, suppose there is a dash here and there is inside a bag. Nowadays there are some bags at this in the front side of your car. So in case of any accident, that balloon should come out immediately so that the person will be safe. Right. So such systems are known as a real-time system. They have to operate at a very fast rate so that the real human being will not find any time difference. Again, in that system there are two categories. One is a soft real-time system, another is hard real-time system. So hard real-time system means what? A system which is absolute guarantee. If it does not function, then there will be a lot of problem. For example, aeroplanes. The systems in the aeroplanes, they work in real time. And in the hard real time, if they go wrong, if they damage, if they fail, you know what happens? Everybody will die down. 100%, 2% will die. So it requires very stringent controls. It has to work in real time, and it must work. If it fails, then there will be a very large damage. Money plus the human beings will also die. So such systems are known as a hard real-time system. They strictly adhere to the each deadline. Now another is the soft real time. So they give you the guarantee again, of course, but deadlines are mostly made, not always. Deadlines are mostly made, mostly made, not always. If you see ATM machine is also a real time operating device, but it is not a hard real time, it is a soft real time. Because why? If it fails, nobody is going to die. There will be some inconvenience. You go to another ATM and you get money from ATM, but it will not lose the money, it will not lose anybody's life, right? So you can find the difference between the two cases, cases of aeroplane blasting and aeroplane malfunctioning and ATM malfunctioning. Both are malfunctions, both will do some trouble, but the trouble caused by aeroplane is much more than the trouble caused due to the ATM machine. So aeroplane systems are hard real time system, whereas ATM is a soft real time system. So you can get a comparison between. So both are real time, but then the severity of the problem, if the embedded system doesn't work, that will decide whether the system is soft real time or hard real time. Then the next classification that is networked embedded system. An embedded system which is connected to another network. For example, in our computer system, all the computers are networked. Now we are talking, so I have got a tab. This tab is attached to a computer. I am attached to you. We are all attached to the network. So we are all working in a network. So this is a network system, network based embedded system. So network based embedded systems are related to network to access the resources. The connected network can be LAN, WAN or internet. The connection can be wired or wireless. You are sitting at your home and you are accessing the internet wirelessly. I am sitting here, my computer is also wireless. I am using my Wi-Fi. You are using direct SIM. Sometimes I can use my wired connection. So depending, but we are all connected to a network. Now it is the fastest growing area in the embedded system application. You know, nowadays there is always a thought process that everything nowadays should be connected to network. If you see, the Internet of Things are coming in the market, smart gadgets, home automation that you can control via your mobile phone, means that device would be controlled, means connected to a network. So nowadays everything is brought under a network of internet. So it would be embedded web server, wherein the embedded devices are connected to a web server and accessed and controlled by the web server. So what are the examples of network system? So home security system, it is a network, number of cameras are there, they are all connected to a host system, recording is done there. Sometimes even they can be connected to internet and the owner can see what is happening at home from anywhere in the world, because now the data is coming via internet on his smartphone, means that camera is in the network. So such systems which are connected to a network are known as network embedded systems. So they can work either in a standalone way, or sometimes they can be networked. So ATM, what is ATM? Is a network system. ATM will not work if network is not there, because it has to check the bank account. Now next classification is the mobile embedded system. Embedded system which is mobile, which is movable. You know, number of things are there. Your mobile phones are movable. Car is a movable system. Calculator, movable. MP3 player, smart watches, cameras, personal digital assistants. So they are all battery based systems and they can move from one place to another. So there are some limitations on the system. The basic limitations on these devices is that their resources are to be limited. Battery should be small, weight should be small, so that they can be carried, right? So they have to be charged. They cannot have a direct mains power supply. So they should be small devices, right? Mobile system should be, here mobile does not mean mobile phone. Mobile phone is a phone, but as it can move from one place to another, it can be moved, it is portable. That's why it is called a mobile phone. The word mobile itself says it can be moved. So handset, cell phone is the example of the mobile embedded system. So there are number of mobile embedded systems available in the market, from thermometer to calculator, temperature sensor. Nowadays you have got thermal scanners, you have got oximeter in the corona. So what are these devices? They are all embedded systems, but they can be movable, they are portable. So such systems are known as mobile embedded systems. So now we have seen one classification. Now we will see another classification, that is whether the system is small or it is a big size or very big size. So that different category, that it is very simple, we have to just read out and you understand. So whatever now I have discussed, same thing now again I will discuss, but from different perspective I will discuss. So small embedded system means it will have got small processing power, it will have got small operating system, it will got less memory, less ports. So based on some basic controllers like 8-bit controller, 4-bit controller, 16-bit controllers, so that will have limited processing, small processing. So for the toys, for small operations, these systems would be used. They will also cost less money. So they are designed using the 8 or 16-bit controller, and they can be easily designed also. Anybody can design them. You know in our computer center we have got software Keil. So a small IDE is enough to develop the program for them. You can use C language, you can use assembly language, and make some program and burn in the memory, and then that code would be executed and that device will operate. So small systems are there which are based on say 8051 or PIC family or Hitachi, that PIC controllers, or ARM, that are not ARM but AVR controllers, PIC controllers, AVR that we have seen. So such devices, such processors can be used. So the software will be limited to the memory of the system. We have got 4K memory or at the most 64K memory inside the chip flash memory. So the program would be smaller. There won't be much big size operating system there. Whatever is possible in the 64 kilobyte memory area, that much program they can execute. So small devices would be known as a small scale embedded system. The software has to fit in the available memory and keep in view for power dissipation while the system is running, so that will not also dissipate more heat also. So small systems, they have got everything smaller, small size, small power, and a small processing, cheaper cost is there, and they can be designed by any individual at home also. By if you have got a laptop, you have got that Keil software or some small simulation and IDEs, then you can make the small embedded systems. For examples can be small types, small toys, a thermometer, your weighing machines, and any small controllers that you use, thermal scanners, oximeter. They are all very small embedded systems. Then the next is the medium scale embedded system. Medium scale embedded means somewhat better than the small scale. They would be somewhat expensive and they would be using somewhat better high power controllers. So generally they will go for 16 to 32 bit controllers. ARM controllers we have seen. So they use around about 16 or 32 bit controller, and they also may add something more. They may have got some digital signal processing chips with them. They may be based on the RISC computers, RISC, reduced instruction set computing. These systems are designed with a single or more 16 or 32 controllers or DSPs. So they are somewhat more complex. They are complex in terms of hardware. They can also be somewhat more complex in terms of software. So for ARM processors and for big processors, you need somewhat advanced version of the simulators. IDEs, integrated development environment, also it should be bigger one. And the programming can be done in some higher languages, C, C++, Java, Visual C, Visual Basic would be used. They would be having some real-time operating system, some operating system which will work in the real time. So for that you require some bigger softwares, bigger simulators, bigger development. You require more expertise also. The cost would be also bigger, and they will do a higher standard or higher quality job. Large scale, again more than this, means it would have got enormous hardware and software complexity. Now you start from thermometer, you start from weighing machine, and you go up to ATM. ATM is a very, even digital camera is a very big embedded system. It has got very large, very high power. It does lot of processing inside. Signal processing is very high inside. So in the large scale embedded system, there will be some application specific instruction processors. There will be more than one processor, main processor, some other processor, some controllers, some advanced controllers, and there will be some protocols also. It may be network system, so internet protocols would also be used in that system. Then for data security, there is some data encryption and decryption is also needed. Coding is needed, because security is now needed, because it is a more complex system. It can be a secure system. It is used for some confidential work. In the army, in the defense, these systems would be used. Even if you are using at your home, then if your smartphone is also a very big embedded system. So it requires nowadays, with the smartphone you use your financial transaction and so many things. So there you need processing, there you need security. So and there is a internet. So IP protocols are there, encryption, decryption is needed. Various transforms are there. You might have studied Laplace transform, cosine transform in the mathematics. Now in the large scale embedded system, there is a lot of processing. So for processing means what? Some scientific operations are involved. So high power processing with complex mathematical programs. So for that there will be some high quality or high power instructions are there, which can direct give you Laplace transform and cosine transform and Fourier transforms. So then now complexity is increased. They are used for cutting edge applications. Cutting edge application means what? Very high standard, high technology applications, like in the robotics. They need hardware and software co-design component which have to assemble in the final system. So development systems are not available. Development systems tools are not available readily at a reasonable cost. So such systems are not designed at home. They are done by big companies. In the big companies there would be very high sophisticated expensive softwares available, and they will employ some engineers which will be expert in their area. So development tools are not readily available, like we have got Kill software. Kill we have. So Kill is not, then it has got very high advanced versions, and high skills are needed. So it is a costly affair. Big companies can only do this. The big companies like Samsung, Nokia, Apple. So big companies only can afford these things. So we have got lot of categories of embedded system. We have seen small embedded system, medium embedded system, and large scale embedded system. So we have seen two categories. Once again I go back. We have seen different categories of embedded system: standalone, real-time, network, mobile systems. One category. Another is small scale, medium scale, and large scale or sophisticated embedded systems. So I hope you got all the ideas about embedded system. List various types of embedded systems and explain in brief. So we have to list the types and explain each type in brief. We stop here. Thank you very much.